My thoughts on running the studio for over 2 years. It's a really complex topic in my life because it's got its pros, it's got its cons, and that's what I'm going to tell you about in this video. So a little brief of history. I've always wanted to have a studio. Always means since like the middle school. Middle school in Poland is between the 13th and the 16th year of life. I mean, it was, because there is no such thing as middle school anymore. But basically, as I was around 14 years old, I thought to myself, it's going to be a nice thing to do in life. But it was just a dream. But a dream to this point where my room used to look like a big home studio. If I have some videos from that era, they are being shown at the screen right now. So at first I was recording myself. I used to play guitar, I used to play bass guitar, then drums, and I wanted to be a multi-instrumentalist that records himself. And that was 2013. And then next year I started recording some other guys, a violinist, vocalists, my friend's metal band. And you know, that was like gaining the experience over 10 years ago. And through all of this time I was dreaming about having the real thing in the future. In the meantime, as I was in the high school, I went to a regular studio in my city. There weren't many studios in my town, so I visited this guy. There were actually 2 sound engineers in the studio, and I spent a whole day with them. They were really nice to me, really professional. We weren't doing like crazy stuff. They were working on some voiceovers for a bank in Poland. Most of the people would say it's boring, but I've learned a few good things that I use till this day. So yeah, it only like spread the fire of my dreams inside my head, and I wanted to have the studio even more. I remember at the beginning of high school we had this weird lessons with a psychologist, and she was asking us, what are your plans for the future, basically. Some people knew what they are going to study, some people didn't even know what they want to study, and I was the only person that knew exactly what he wants to do, like right away. Like if I could start this now, I would start this at this very day. All right, the high school have passed. I'm an adult now. I went to a university, the first one, the second one. I've started like 3 different fields of study throughout the first 2 years of my major life, and I knew it's not going to be for me since the first day. So if you have the gut feeling in your stomach it's not going to be what you want it to be, then you may think about listening to it because it may be useful for you. Okay, so it's year 2018. I gave up studying and I started mixing, like commercially. I knew how to mix, but I haven't really been working with that much customers. And the first 2 years of my mixing was just gaining experience with customers, with how to sell what you are doing. And this was really hard, to be honest. I was really like, I would do anything for everyone at this point until they are happy with the results. So that was really time consuming, but I really like this period of time in my life. And after a few more years, in 2022, 3 years later, I've opened my very first studio after I got some money and stuff. So I've been building it for like over a month, and these are the photos from that period. And here we are, 2 years and 4 months after I opened the studio. This was the most time-consuming period of my life. I thought it's going to be fairly easy, to be honest. Record people, mix their music, go home. But I really needed to work on my work hygiene because I was thinking about the studio all the time. Even when I was at home, the first time I always thought about as I opened my eyes every day was the studio. And recently, for the past few months, I've been having this feeling of like, when I'm at studio, I'm at work. I know it's my work, my studio, and basically my business, but I'm at work. And I've started to learn how to disengage those two, the private life and the work. And it sounds really obvious and really simple, but it's a game changer for me. So right now, I just feel like I want to do the work and I want to go home. Unfortunately, I've lost like this, I've lost a lot of fun of sitting in the studio. I've lost a lot of this feeling where I want to tweak things, where I want to just sit with my gear and play with the sounds. And I'd like to change it at this point. I've worked with many artists, many great artists, many not so great artists. I've been in a few quarrels, let's say. I've met really weird people and I've met really great people. So that's also a good thing. A few friends, but it's really hard to start a friendship where you are the business and somebody's a customer. I knew opening a studio won't instantly make me work with famous people, and honestly I weren't even aiming for that because they don't usually work in smaller cities. Even though Krakow is the second biggest city in Poland, most of the show business and the whole musical market is in Warsaw. So maybe it's time to move to Warsaw, but I don't really want to. What I want to say by that is that I'm mostly working with passionates in order not to call them amateurs. But actually working with those amateurs, which isn't a bad word here, it's just like they are not doing this commercially, they are doing this for themselves. It made me learn how to help people musically. I've learned some people how to start singing, I've learned some people how to control their voice, I've learned some people how to mix and produce music because I've been giving away lessons. So that basically gave me the feeling of feeling more worthy for other people. Everything I've been learning so far got a practical use outside my own life, and I could help other people, and that's great. In the meantime, I opened a self-recording studio. So basically I've rented a room next to my studio and turned it into a really basic setup where you can just come in and record some vocals without me, without any other person, any sound engineer. And that was a really good idea. It's the first studio like this in the city, and it works okay for now. And I think about making it a little bigger. So after those 2 years, I think and I feel like I'd like to start something new. I want to get back to shooting some more videos. I want to find some more hobbies. Recently, I've been really into 3D printing. I've got my very first 3D printer, and I want to do some DIY projects, and hopefully I will shoot some videos and show them to you guys. The first one will be the SSL compressor, definitely. The second one I will build, and I have the plans for the Pultec EQs, the real thing in stereo, or two mono instances. We will see. It costs some money, so I gotta be careful. And always when I'm making DIY projects, I have this feeling that I can mess something up and the money is gone, basically. If anybody of you has a dream of living your life with music, or opening a studio, or anything close to it, I would say go for it. Try yourself, Try to do it, and you will find if you are really meant to do it, and if you really feel comfortable doing it. I really liked it to some extent. I think I won't be able to do it for my whole life. It's a lot of work. It's a bit of stress too, so it's definitely not for everyone. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you are having a good time today. My name is Dominic, and keep the good vibes alive.